Alabama's first game of the week. They're facing Florida, and this one looks fun. Now, I've been calling Florida Alabama Junior because of the way that they've been set up on offense. They have a great offensive game plan. They've got a team that bases themselves on analytic offense, just like Alabama. This one appears to be fun, especially if you like offensive basketball. Guys, when you look at this matchup, what are you thinking about? And where really do you think which one has the edge in what department?
David, I think you're right. If I'm Alabama, you still have, I know we're talking about specifically Wednesday night at Coleman Coliseum, Tuscaloosa. They still play again a week and a half, 2 weeks later. So if you're Alabama sitting there with, I think Florida's a potential second weekend team if they get hot enough. They had so many potential scorers. Their front court's better than Alabama's with Handel Gotten. You got Tyrese Samuel, Condon. They crashed the boards. I think this is a tough matchup for Alabama. So maybe not specifically in Coleman Coliseum, and I know we're talking about that game. Alabama obviously tends to shoot well, made 18 threes again yesterday against Texas A&M. I think Alabama's going to get this one done, but I could see this kind of being a scratch and crawl and scratch type game where Florida gets some second opportunities on the boards because I kind of like Condon, Samuel, and Handel Gotten in this matchup against Alabama's front court. If I'm Alabama, Nato has to be sending the same message he probably sent all week last week against A&M. Guys, we got to play physical, play with toughness, and get boards. And obviously, I mean, A&M, I think, had, 26 boards yesterday? So Alabama didn't do a good job. I know they won by 25. But again, I think this is a scary matchup for Alabama. They still got Florida in 2 more weeks. I think if they want to stay in the SEC championship race, you got to hold serve at home. It's got to start on Wednesday night. That would be my initial concerns on this game if I'm Alabama.
I think that's an excellent point. And Maddie, we've also talked to Dom today. Alabama actually not lost a game, but actually lost one of their Q1 wins on their resume. Florida has now jumped up into the top 30 when it comes to their opportunities in the net. So how huge is it for Alabama to get a potential Q1 win here now that they've only got 2 of them on their resume?
Yeah, I mean, this could be a huge possible get for Alabama. Like you said, Q1 possibly bumping them up to that next spot and being 2 seed. I think what they're going to have to watch here, echoing what Dave said, Florida's front court, obviously a little bit better than Alabama's. But when it comes to the defensive side of the ball is what I'm going to be watching when Florida matches up against Alabama. Obviously, Alabama, excellent offensive team, but they are lacking some defense. So if you let that front court get in there and get business done, it's going to be a hard-fought game for Alabama to win this one.
Well, what's interesting is that you mentioned that defense. KenPom actually we were talking about Alabama's woes on defense being there in the 70s in adjusted defense. Florida's actually in the 80s. So, that's why I keep calling them Alabama Junior. They do everything Alabama does, but they're one step behind is what it seems to be on the way that they're built. Guys, let's go around the world for the picks here. Obviously, one of the other things I do want to point out, Alabama averaging 4 more threes a game than the Gators are. Guys, who are your picks in this one?
I'm going to go with Alabama at home. I think Alabama's Coleman Coliseum, since really NATO's just been there, has become kind of a home court advantage for them. I like Alabama, patient offense, sharing the basketball, making that extra pass. It's either Rylan Griffin one night, obviously Sears has been consistent. Then you got Latrell Wrightsell making big plays at times. They can just get some more a little bit more defense from Nick Pringle if he can stay out of the doghouse. You like Alabama's improvement on defense. I'm going to take Alabama at home here. I don't know if I'll be saying the same thing here in a week and a half, 2 weeks when they have to go to Gainesville, but I think Alabama comfortable in their own building. I think close game in the first half. I think Alabama probably pulls away in the back half of the second half in this game to make it 2 in a row at home. Give me Alabama in a game I think they need to stay in. Like you all said, add another quad 1 win and then obviously stay in that race, top the standings in the SEC.
Yeah, we saw them picked out for a top 3 seed by the committee or a top 16 seed at a 3 seed this weekend by the committee for their reveal of who they've got so far in the bracket. I think it's an excellent game. And I'm like you, if this game was in the I'm having all sorts of conversations about that one coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm with you there. Maddie, who do you got?
I'm going to echo both of you guys, and I think the home court advantage gets it done here. I'm taking Alabama.
I am also going to rock Alabama in this one. And I think that's going to be the last one we have for a minute here on this one, because now we're going to get into some games that are a little bit closer in these picks.